The Whites are running on an incredible high right now, with Leeds United having beaten Sunderland in the last minute 9 days ago, and then Sheffield United in the last minute 2 days ago, and then scoring another goal just for extra effect, for extra Sheffield-flavoured anger. Annoyed Steel. But in spite of all of this, we cannot take our eyes off the ball, and it looks like the club's management understand this as well, because Leeds seem to be planning the summer window already, as somehow Leeds United are eyeing a number 10 for a huge fee. Now, whilst I have admittedly titled the video after this, and I have thumbnailed it after this, what we need to do is take this whole story with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because it is incredibly early right now. So we're currently on the 26th of February. I'm recording this at like 1 in the morning. It's going up early for members. It'll be available at 7 a.m. for most of you guys. And that puts us 4-5 months away from the transfer window, so things are far from confirmed. We're not even promoted yet, but the fact that we are having these conversations is quite interesting, and I've seen this specific story reported in several places from several sources. So it's one that I'm a little bit sort of interested by. And the player specifically being discussed is Nicholas Kuhn, who is the number 10 at Celtic. Celtic, I believe, currently top of the Scottish Premier League. I would be surprised if they're not, because Rangers seem to be in the middle of nowhere, like all of the time. Let's have a quick double check. They are currently top by 16 points. And he is a very clearly talented player. He is a big part of that team. He's played 22 matches so far this season. Celtic have played 28, so he's only missed 6, whether that's through injury or not being selected, I'm not entirely sure. But he scored 10 goals in those matches, which from the number 10 position is pretty damn impressive. In addition to that, he's gotten himself 6 assists, and I'll be honest, he's very likely Premier League quality. He's had Premier League clubs sniffing around him recently. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail later on. So I completely understand why we're potentially looking at this guy to play as a number 10 for us in the Premier League, but there are some potential complications that need to be discussed. Because, of course, there are some complications, because we can't do things very easily. One of the big worries is that the German has 4 years left on his contract. At the moment, it's 4.5 years, but I'm ignoring that. In the summer, when we come to sign him, he'll have 4 years left, which is spooky, because that could massively increase the price of him, because that's what happens with long football contracts. Clubs don't realistically need to sell to get value out of their player until there's 2 years left on the contract. So with 4 years, they've got a lot of leeway here. They're in a very strong negotiating position. And in addition to that, there were some discussions around his contract being renewed 1 month ago. Now, everything that I saw around this was that the contract talks seemed to be designed to sort of dispel any Premier League interest. At the time, the team that were linked to him were Brentford. So I've always been of the position that if Brentford or Brighton are linked to a player, and so are we, our scouting department are doing something quite effective, because Brentford and Brighton are very, very good at spotting talent. But there are some obvious notes to make. Whilst it would be a very, very tricky deal to negotiate for a super cheap fee, Celtic signed him for £3 million. He's going to be worth significantly more than that right now, because he has massively grown in his time there. It's something that financially I think we would very easily be able to do, but there are some very obvious notes that we need to talk about. First up being that it is very, 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 very early to be saying this, because again, we're in February. Window opens, I think, in June. I think technically it's in July, but you can get deals agreed early, all that kind of stuff. And at the moment, the likelihood of a move getting done is relatively low, because again, we've not got promotion confirmed yet. It's doubtful that he'd want to move to a championship club when he's currently getting Champions League football. I think a Premier League side would be able to steal him, but in terms of Championship versus Scottish Premier League, he's got European football right now. Obviously, that is the main decision that he's going to make. But whilst there is big question marks, and whilst a move for specifically him is relatively unlikely at this current moment, it is indicative of a wider positive strategy. And I'm going to use a little bit of a a phrase that exists in common culture, but I'm going to adapt it to the culture of this YouTube channel, because people that are present in the live streams deserve little Easter eggs like this. The early pigeon gets the Greg's crumbs. Pigeon's up and about really early, then if you drop bits out your sausage roll, pigeon's all over it. And that means that the best of the talent is going to go to whoever is going to make the signings early in the window. I'm assuming that that's an understandable metaphor. If it's not, then I don't know what other metaphors to give you. But smart players like to move very early in the summer because there's plenty of benefits to them. Pre-season is not ideal for settling into your new club. Well, it is ideal for settling into a new club. Sorry about that. Brain go. But if the season's already begun and you've signed for a new side, you don't have any time to settle in. It's why when we signed Rafinha, there were a few weeks he just didn't play. Then he came into the side and we looked ridiculously good. If he had those extra few weeks, who knows? It might have been better than ninth. We might have been able to compete for Europe or something. So the smarter players will make sure that they are moving as early as they can, so they are able to get an understanding of the new tactical system they will be playing. And this is something we've not been able to do recently because we've had big question marks over what a squad looks like. We sold Somerville late in pre-season. We thought that he would probably go, but it was relatively late in the pre-season anyway. Archie we sold relatively early, that's fine. So we had time to replace him, but Jorginho retire. We've not got a replacement number 10 yet. So things start to get a little bit complex and confusing. But that's not an issue that we'll have next season because we are not going to be going through a big fire sale of players if we get promoted to the Premier League. We can change that now. And it means we actively have the opportunity to make the decision to talk to clubs early so we can move fast once the window is open, once promotion is confirmed, and we can profit. Both in the form of results and in the form of financially, because if you wait until the end of the window, clubs know that you've got Premier League money, they know that you're desperate for players in certain positions, and they know that they can say, well, no, pay up, because you just got promoted. You quite badly need to do well this season. So you need this player more than we do. Pay up. So at the end of the day, the faster we move, the better we'll be looking. And ultimately, the specifics of this deal are not necessarily likely. Nicholas Kuhn is someone that is a very, very good player. And one that I would quite like us to sign, because having seen various bits and bobs of him, he seems incredible. But the specifics aren't necessarily likely because of how long there is, how many clubs will be interested in him, how many players we will be interested in. It will be a very, very busy summer for us. And yeah, it would be fantastic to do promotion first. But once we do promotion, once we are promoted, once we're in the Premier League, let's get busy. Let's do it early. Let's make those moves as fast as we can and push forwards. Because that is the only way that we make sure that we stay in the Premier League, by doing the business that we need to do quickly and cementing our place there fast. But as always, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're not yet. That's also always brilliant. Comment what you think, I guess, as well. Pop a like on the video, all that kind of stuff. Be a channel member. You get videos like this one early. Yeah, don't know what else to add, really. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. I forgot the quiz thing. The quiz thing. Oh. Okay, it's the 26th. Let's see what the quiz question is for the 26th. As of the start of last year, which team has won the Europa Cup/League a record 7 times and never lost a final? Bollocks. I'm going to take a swing for the fences. That feels like something that Athletic Bilbao would do. If you got the answer, let me know below. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later.